Hi friends. We've been talking a whole lot about being good online citizens. We've been doing activities about being good online citizens, and I do have another read-aloud for you today. But before I start with the book, I just wanted to let you know today you're going to need scissors. You're going to need a glue stick, and you're going to need this paper packet that was in your to-go bag that you picked up from school that has my picture on it and my little love note to you, okay? Because we're going to be working on the first two pages that are underneath the blue paper today, okay? So paper packet, scissors, glue stick. You can surely pause this video and go and grab those things so that you have them, so that you're ready. And the book I have to share with you today is called Nerdy Birdie Tweets. It's written by Aaron Reynolds and it's illustrated by Matt Davies. And in this book, there are some things about being good online citizens that we didn't really get to talk about. And you'll find in our Google Classroom that I posted the picture of our lists that we created. But there are some things that I think this story touches on and talks about that I think are important parts of being good online citizens too. This is Nerdy Birdie. Nerdy Birdie loves playing video games. This is Vulture. Vulture thinks video games are boring. Vulture loves snacking on dead things. Nerdy Birdie thinks dead things are gross. Nerdy Birdie and Vulture are very different. They are also best friends. Three things Nerdy Birdie and Vulture love to do together. Number 1, make fun of each other's lunch. Number 2, make silly faces. And number 3, take goofy pictures of each other. One day, Nerdy Birdie discovered an amazing new game. It's called Tweetster, he told Vulture. What does it do? Asked Vulture. Lots of things, said Nerdy Birdie. Collect tons of friends online who may or may not text you back. Play games with them all. Tweet messages and pictures for them all to see. Sounds, awesome, said Vulture, even though she thought it sounded really dull. An hour later, Birdie had 50 new Tweetster friends. I'm friends with a flamingo, he said. Neat, said Vulture. A day later, Nerdy Birdie had 100 new Tweetster friends. He played Angry Worms with an ostrich and tweeted his score. I'm friends with an ostrich. How cool is that? Cool. It doesn't sound like Vulture's very impressed. A week later, Nerdy Birdie had 500 new Tweetster friends. He had never dreamed he could have that many friends. I'm friends with a puffin. She lives in Iceland. Iceland! You're friends with a vulture, and she's dying of boredom. Boredom! Let's do something different, Vulture said. In a minute, said Nerdy Birdie. This is not fun. Did you realize I can fit your whole body in my beak? Vulture said. I could eat you in one bite. if I wanted. That's nice. Nerdy Birdie is not really paying attention. Vulture decided she'd had enough of watching Nerdy Birdie play Tweetster. Vulture spread her wings and flew away. An hour later, Nerdy Birdie finally realized. The next day, Vulture had a surprise for Nerdy Birdie. Vulture had joined Tweetster. They tweetstered together all morning. At lunchtime, they put away their games, and it was just like old times. They made fun of each other's lunches. They made silly faces, and they took goofy pictures of each other. But when they logged back onto Tweetster, Vulture found a surprise waiting for her. What is this? This is what Nerdy Birdie said. Vulture Girl is a messy eater. She eats dead things. Ew! That's what Nerdy Birdie posted. Oh, that? It's a picture from lunch, Nerdy Birdie said. Why did you tweet it to all your Tweetster friends? Vulture asked. I thought it was funny, Nerdy Birdie said. Just because you thought it doesn't mean you should tweet it, said Vulture. Why? Said Nerdy Birdie. It's embarrassing. I just thought... No, you didn't. You didn't think. Vulture spread her wings and flew away. An hour later, Vulture hadn't come back to their favorite telephone wire. A day later, Vulture still wouldn't answer any of Nerdy Birdie's calls. A week later, this part's kind of gross. A week later, Nerdy Birdie found a dead squirrel on the road, Vulture's favorite snack. He waited for hours hoping she might stop by, but Vulture never showed up. Guessing her feelings are really hurt. But then it hit him. Nerdy Birdie had 500 Tweetster friends. He'd asked them for their advice. He tweeted, "My best friend is mad at me. What should I do?" 10 minutes later, nobody had tweeted back. An hour later, nobody had tweeted back. A day later, only 3 Tweetster friends had tweeted back. Pufnstuf said, "What do you want me to do about it? I live in Iceland." Unhelpful. Ostrich49 said, "LOL, stinks to be you." Super unhelpful. Pink Flamingo 7 said, "Try not to be such a bird brain, LOL." That wasn't meant to be helpful. But it was super duper helpful. Nerdy Birdie closed down his game. He opened up his tiny little wings and he flew. And he flew high. And he flew low. He flew across town. He flew over fields until he spotted her. Vulture blended right into the branches of the dead oak tree, but Nerdy Birdie knew his best friend from a mile away. "I was a bird brain," he said. Vulture said nothing. I shouldn't have tweeted that photo of you, Nerdy Birdie said. Vulture said nothing. I'm sorry, said Nerdy Birdie. You should be, said Vulture. I really am. And he really was. What about your 500 Tweetster friends? Nerdy Birdie shrugged. One real live you is worth 1,000 Tweetster friends, he said. Some days, Nerdy Birdie decides what they should do. Take that! I just beat your Angry Worm's high score, Vulture said. One more game, please. Some days, Vulture decides what they should do. Dead raccoon, dead ahead. I see it, said Vulture. And some days, they even get together and tweet. So, boys and girls, during our Zoom meeting today, we're going to talk about some of the things that came up in Nerdy Birdie tweets that we didn't talk about with being good online citizens. And I also want you to make sure that you have these supplies ready. So remember, scissors, glue stick, and the paper packet that went home in your to-go bag, okay? So be ready to talk about some of the things that came up in this book that might be different from what we talked about on our list, okay? And you have a couple minutes to make sure that you have these things handy.